much respect for them. And I just want to tap in and go ahead and say, hey, while we're on that topic, let's just go ahead and just ride with it. Like you guys know that it's the beginning of the year. Like we're really running through it real fast right now, and we just gotta just remind ourselves, man. Just let the haters hate when they on whatever it is that you got going on, and they recognize that you're starting to be successful. They start popping back up. You start seeing so and so that you ain't seen in a long time. Somebody you stopped fooling with way back when. Somebody that you disassociated yourself with way back when. They decide to just come tiptoe into whatever it is that you're trying to do. Some of them even come up and they try to sabotage your success, and they put extra effort into trying to sabotage your success. You've got others that will just merely provide you with negative feedback instead of inspiring you and motivating you to be successful, continuing to help you improve and drive for success. They spend more time and more effort trying to tear you down and hold you back and really put you in a position where you don't have the ability to improve if you don't motivate yourself to improve. Those people that are trying to hold you back, the ones that tell you that you can't, the ones that tell you that you shouldn't. Like we had one of our guests on the show last night that decided to try to tell fathers that are trying for extended periods of time that they may not be entitled to their child just because they helped create them. I'm going to tell you, that's not true. If that's what you want to do, you're entitled to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's actually part of the foundation to being free in this country, is having the right, the entitlement to do whatever you want to do, as long as what you're doing isn't negatively impacting someone else or someone else's stuff. So when you're striving for success, it doesn't matter if you're striving for a new career. It doesn't matter if you're striving for a new position on your current career. It doesn't matter if you're striving for success in your education, if you're striving for success in your home life. It doesn't matter what that is. If you got a hobby, if you're trying to run a marathon, if you're trying to go to the Olympics, if you're trying to start up a business and be successful doing that, and you're making progress. It doesn't necessarily have to be the progress that you want. It could just be the fact that you're making progress. Appreciate that, value that, covet that, because you are being successful in what you're trying to accomplish just by not giving up. It gives you the ability to continue to strive forward towards your success. A lot of times people feel like, well, if it doesn't happen after a certain period of time, I'm going to dip on it. And a lot of people also feel like, well, if I don't see these results or those results, or I can't do anything else with my results, then they call themselves trying to back out of the situation because they don't have as much faith. And then a lot of times you have people that are really starting to do it, and then you have someone come out of the woodwork and say, nah, you're not going to succeed. Oh, you're not going to fail. If you decide like you're kind of doubting yourself, and you should never doubt yourself, but just because you shouldn't doesn't mean that you won't. You're kind of doubting yourself, and you're in one of those situations where you're lean over to somebody that you thought was your friend, and you say, hey friend, I was thinking about doing this and this, and what do you think? And they'll come and tell you, oh, don't do it. Not because it's dangerous, not because it could catastrophically destroy your platform, because they don't want to see you succeed. They'll say, let's not, and see what happens. Well, we're not doing it already. And if you come up and say, let's not, and see what happens, then nothing will continue to happen. You don't want to rely on that type of advice. Now, if you're a do or don't situation where you're saying, well, if we're doomed if we don't, and we're doomed if we do, and the question is like, will the consequences outweigh the objective, the agenda? And if it turns out that, you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't, it's like, well, you might want to take that leap of faith, put some effort into whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and see if you can be successful. Because if you apply yourself in that fashion where you're going to fail one way or another, you might as well fail trying as opposed to failing quitting. And if you're going to fail trying, you're going to fail a heck of a lot higher than what you would if you fail by quitting. Those who don't start have already failed. I had this story with you guys a couple months ago when I was in a Walmart with somebody in the jewelry department, and they were trying to fix my father's watch. And he's had that watch since I was a kid. And I'm middle aged right now, so that's a long time for somebody to hold something. And the fact is, all he needed was a battery change. And the employee did not know how to do it and was afraid to do it because they were afraid to mess up. And I just took the watch because I mean, hey, either we're gonna change the battery or we're gonna buy him another one because it doesn't work. So if we can't change the battery, we're buying another one anyway. If we break the watch trying to take the watch apart to buy a battery, we're buying a new watch anyway. So either way it goes, the man's getting a new watch if he doesn't get a battery. So the odds of breaking it is going to stop my success. How? It's not. And as a result, I go in there and I start tinkering with the watch, got the battery changed out, and the watch reassembled in less than 2 minutes. And she was shocked and amazed. I even showed her, I walked her through it while I was doing it so that she could see how to take it apart, how to disassemble the prongs, remove one battery, put the clamps back on, and put the watch back together, and then bolt it down and reprogram it inside of that 2 minutes. And she was just impressed. And her statement in that scenario was, I would have been too afraid to even try. And I explained to her then, I said, um, that if you are afraid to fail, then you can't quit, because when you quit, you failed before you even started. So being afraid of failure, you should probably give it your best shot, because at least there's a 50-50 chance you'll succeed if you try. There's a 100% chance that you'll fail if you quit before you start. And she told me, I never thought about that. And that's why I got to tell you guys, hey, if you got something going on, you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing when haters start coming out of the woodwork and start tapping in. When they start coming in and starting to criticize, when they start coming in and starting to make negative comments, when they start coming in and saying that you don't qualify, that you're not entitled, that you don't have what it takes. Those haters are coming in and they're trying to stop you from reaching your goals. They're trying to cut you down and they're trying to beat you down and trying to ruin your opportunity to be successful. And I've seen a quote. I can't recite it quite well, but it basically stated that haters are hating because they can't keep up with you. They don't have the drive, the motivation, the success is there with you consistently, but with them it's not like that. So the haters are hating on you because they mad, they disappointed, they frustrated, because you are more dedicated, you are more determined, you are more driven than uh uh the people that are pissed off at you for being successful. And if you've got somebody that doesn't like the fact that you're successful, I say at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, and at the end of the day, you want to take a little bit of time to thank them for hating on you. So for all y'all that's hating on me, hating on us, hating on, anybody that I know, thank you. I appreciate it. If you got something bad to say about a brother, I appreciate it, because that lets me know. What's funny about our society is that we gauge positive based off of the negative. If there was no negative, there would alternatively be no positive. So in order for me to recognize all of the fans that love me for doing what I do, I got to recognize all the haters that are hating on me for doing it. So when I know that I got some haters on my ticket, that lets me know that I'm doing something right, because that means that they mad and they paying attention to what I got going on. I am not paying attention to them. I ain't called them, text them, didn't check their social media status, could care less, probably blocked the phone number, restraining order, all this. Get them away from me. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. But if they want to follow me around and tap in and hate on the brother, go ahead and hate. Go ahead and hate. I ain't gonna hate you for it. You hate me for all you want to hate me for. Because you know what's funny is that if you hating on me right now, Lord knows you gonna pop an aneurysm trying to hate on me in a little while, because we blowing up. This and that and everything in between is going to be in between. Everything above the stars, the moon, the sun, we got it going on. Why? Because we never giving up. We striving for success. And in every scenario, when you're striving for success, you're trying to get that promotion, you got somebody that's sabotaging your projects, you got somebody that's trying to take the credit for the work that you did. Don't think that other people don't see that. Don't think that if you're working up underneath a manager that's promising you a promotion, but you got to get them a promotion for you to get a promotion. Don't think that other people don't see that you being successful by putting in the work for this person. Don't think that nobody paid attention to the fact that the files hit your desk first before the success happened and the file went to the presentation. Know that you recognize, and a time will come when that person that is riding your coattails got to shine on their own, and that's when it's gonna all come out, and you will get that promotion. You got folks that will they it's that crabs in the bucket mentality. When you are starting to shine too bright, they will throw shade on your success. These haters will throw shade on your success just so that they can stop your light from shining as bright as it should. They will come up and they will try to make it seem like you a failure, like you're broke, like you're big, like you don't got your stuff together. They'll make it seem like you're needy. They'll make it seem like you stuck on something from the past. They'll make it seem like you're bitter or something like that. You're closed off. You whatever their excuse is gonna be. They try to dive in and make it seem like you failing on your way to the top. They try to make it seem like you failing on your way to the top. And when you're hearing that, you got to stop and think about, well, dang, I have not done that. I have not sat there with my hand out. Everything I've gotten on my own 2 feet. My team that I keep with me, we all get it together. I make sure that I break bread with all of my brothers. You know, everybody got to eat. When I eat, everybody eat with me. I look at the fact that when I count my haters, I look at the fact that in my situation, the haters that want to hate on me are acknowledging the fact that the what makes me better about the past is the fact that I don't acknowledge it because it's beneath me. It's behind me. If I didn't came out the mud, do you think I'm trying to get dirty going back there looking at the mud? No, no. I started that suit challenge a couple weeks back, and oh, look at this. We've got some extra. I like the way some people like to jump in and just, yes, that's correct. Let haters be your motivation. That's correct. Yes, that is correct. And I think that that is very entertaining, that when you're sitting there and you're trying to do what you got to do, you trying to get yours together, and they come out of nowhere and they try to curve your situation, they try to change your perspective, and just don't let them do that. If you look at it, if you want to take the time out of your day and reminisce on where you was this time last year, think about what you was going through, think about what you was doing, think about what you was trying to accomplish, and then go back and look at exactly what you're doing right now. Are you as stressed right now as you was before? If the answer is no, you didn't improve. Or are you grinding on the same grind at as you was before? And the answer is no. Then what you doing is you doing better than what you used to do. If you were in that position, that's right, ignore them. If you were in that position where you thinking about the people that you used to hang around, them they calling you a sellout this time around because you done came out of the hood, you didn't stop making those mistakes, you stop tromping around with people that don't want to be successful. I'm not going to call those people failures because they have the potential to be better. They just not trying to be better. And the potential to do something that you currently is not yet doing, you want to call that a failure, but at any point in time, that spark can go off in somebody's head, that light bulb can light up, and then that person can just say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go do something different. I'm gonna stop beefing with these boys on the block and I'm gonna go get me a job. I'm gonna stop slinging out here on this corner and I'm gonna go do something on the internet. I was just talking to some boys that the Royal Treatment Furniture Company, these guys are great. They 2-man power trip the whole house, 2 truckloads worth of furniture. If you need a moving crew and you in their area, hey, hit me up. I'll let you know what they got going on. I give you their contact information. These boys 2-man power trip the whole house, and they didn't just do one house. They knocked out one house, they knocked out the other house, then they brought everything to this house. I could, and in 3 hours, these boys was out there muscling it. They was muscling it because they go getters. Small business. Brother had his head on straight, and he did it. He went out there with a U-Haul truck and started a business. Let me tell you something. Don't hate on him. I mean, no, let me rephrase that. Hate on him. But when you hate on him, recognize the fact that he decided to piece it together where from bottom to the top, he getting enough money from the customer to pay for his overhead and still got profit to pay somebody to help him do the job so that when they both walk away from the day, they done made them some money. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And then when you find a way to reincorporate yourself into a business scheme where you can expand. And I told him, I said, hey, you need some I can walk you guys through it. I can help you guys get on top of your game and go from one U-Haul truck to 2 commercial trucks. Just come holler at me. And I know they're going to come holler at me. I'm going to tag them in the video because I want y'all to know the royal treatment gives you the royal treatment. They on time. They showing up. They stay in touch. They tell that we had a 4-vehicle convoy. These boys was doing it so good. And I just gotta tell you, when you looking at these small businesses like this that is coming up and they grinding, these are boys that put their whole effort into it. That you see them covered in sweat trying to knock it out and get it done the hottest part of the day. They don't care. They getting it for you and singing songs while they doing it. These boys was having a good old fashioned time over here. Didn't break nothing, didn't scratch nothing. Why? Because they was motivated. They was dedicated. They did everything, including walk the dog. They had it all going on. These boys was doing it. And why did they do that? Because that's what they want to do. They had one man working for the business. He been doing the same thing for what 10, 20 years, what he telling me. And I'm like, dang. So you telling me this like your first job that you've been doing since you was a jit, and now you middle aged with me and you still knocking it. Dedication, dedication. And you gotta remember that when these boys get out here and they doing what they gotta do to get on top of theirs, when somebody else wants to come and they want to hate on you and they want to come and they want to tear you down, bro, just let them do what they want to do. Remember that while they over there trying to hate on you, they're not successful because they're not successful. It ain't got nothing to do with you. If they mad at your success, if they're mad at what you're accomplishing, they mad that you got 2, 3, 4 businesses off the ground. Let them be mad. Let them try to figure out what you got going on. Let them be confused. You know what I'm saying? Let them wonder what's happening. Why? Because if they watching you, matter of fact, your best friend is your worst enemy. People don't know that. People don't know that. Because the person that you tell all of your deepest, darkest secrets to is the person that can expose you for all of your weaknesses. But the person that don't know nothing about you, but they stalking you to make sure that they keep track of what you got going on so that they can see what you got going on, flip the coin. Fact of the matter is that your enemy is your best friend. And your best friend is your worst enemy because your best friend can blast you any day of the week, put up all your dirty laundry, and it could be stuff that won't even damage you at all. It's just stuff you just don't want nobody else to know about, situations that you've been through that you don't want other people to know about. And just because your best friend know about it, your best friend has leverage to try to manipulate you into doing things that you don't want to do. So if you've got a true best friend, you got a true road dog, you got a true brother in arms that will always be there for you, you know that stuff, that information that he has about you, he will take to his grave. But you also got that worst enemy that's always there. Like your worst enemy is your biggest fan. You know that? And that's why I say let the haters hate. Yeah, you ignore them. Don't let them tear you down. Don't let them tell you that you're never going to be successful. Don't let them tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have an entitlement to the success that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's in business, whether it's in your personal life with your family. Don't ever let them tell you that you don't have a right to be there, because that's not true. The truth is that you have every right to be where you deserve to be based off of how much effort you put into that. And it might take you some time, because depending on what you're trying to accomplish, it might take you a little bit more time to get there than the next person. You might have not have had as many opportunities as the next person. You might have not have had as many resources as the next person. You might have not have had the connections as the next person. But what you have that the next person didn't have is the drive, is the dedication, is the motivation to be successful. And you kept going. So even though you might have started with less, even though you might have started with a handicap where you did not have those opportunities that the other person has, it doesn't change the fact that you do have the ability to be successful because you kept trying, you kept striving, you kept putting it in, and you can't give up on that. You can't give up on that. You have to trust that you are going to be successful. And you have to trust that you are going to be successful by making sure that your success is not fringing on somebody else's opinion. You want to look at the true definition of self-esteem, like what Cat Williams said, esteem of yourself. So why are you happy if somebody else is happy for you? I don't care if you happy for me. It doesn't matter if you're happy for me. Why? Because I'm going to be successful regardless. I can tell you that the most successful people in the world have gone from nothing to something, back down to nothing, back up to something else, back down to nothing, back up to something else. They're not consistent about this, and there's a lot of times where they might get a certain level, get knocked down just a little bit, and then they'll come up, and then they'll get knocked down just a little bit, and then they'll come up. They will excel. They won't plateau. They won't just stay down. And those are the ones that never give up. That no matter how hard it is, they're never going to give up. And you got to believe. And that's the truth. You got to believe. So when I see my biggest fans jumping in, like Reverend Alexander, I appreciate y'all. Like Mr. Thomas was here yesterday, I appreciate y'all. Miss Vega, I appreciate y'all. What's the name? Kathleen, HD He, the legend. I appreciate y'all. You know, because y'all come in, y'all here every week, y'all here every day, y'all always diving on, and y'all love what we got going on here, and we love y'all being here. Y'all definitely make the show. All of the fans that jump in, y'all make the show. You know, so I say, if I would have gave up because somebody told me that I wasn't gonna make it, I would have never been here. But look at what's going on now. We didn't monetize the platform in a brief amount of time, and we turned it over so quick that, look, it's getting bigger than what we was expecting to get it. We got to travel now so that we can interview people for the show. Why? Because we never gave up. We could have just been shooting the breeze. We could have been trying to work for somebody else.